MKLeo back in top 8, the continued domination of 2 different players in their home country, and more. Today we're going to be going over what happened in Smash Ultimate this weekend, mostly focusing on Maesuma top 15 and of course UFA happening in Japan and France respectively. Last time I did a post-tournament video, y'all asked for more, so this is going to be more. Both of these tournaments were majors. One, of course, focused on the European scene in UFA with some international visitors, and the other, a Maesuma top number 15 classic Japanese major with a ton of amazing players. Let's go over both, starting with Maesuma top number 15, but of course, in the bottom is the timestamp, so you can go to whichever section you want. But before we get into it, I do want to mention that I'm doing a group Metafy class on edge guarding. It is $15 for the first 50 people that sign up, and I'm basically going to be going over the intricacies of edge guarding, my specialty, the thing I'm probably the best at in the world, for an hour. And it does not matter if you play Pikachu or not, this can be a general lesson, but of course the things that I talk about will be more applicable with characters that have better edge guarding. So if you are interested, go to the link in the description about the group Metafy class, I would appreciate it, but let's get to the video. So with Maesuma top 15, if you are looking at a top down, the top 2 makes sense. Akola was not in attendance. Well, he was there, but he didn't enter, wanted a little bit of a break. So the top 2 were Mia and Yoshidora. That's no surprise there. But what is a surprise is that Yoshidora had a really long losers run. He did not get through this easily in winners, unlike Mia, who of course won very little difficulty. He literally, I think, lost two games in this entire top 8. I don't even remember how many games he lost overall. Oh, he had a game 5 set with Masa, the Falco. But of course, even game 5s can look not close when it comes to Mia, but Yoshidora was in losers to Kome 3-2, the Shulk main. Of course, we know that Shulk in theory is broken. It all depends on basically how well Kome is doing in the day, and Kome beat Yoshidora, but then immediately lost to Shirayuki's Inkling, but we will get back to that in a little bit. So Yoshidora lost pretty early and had to beat many players. Yoshidora 3-1 Furarada, I don't know kanji, so I don't know how to say that last part. 3-2'd, so almost lost to Goryoka, and then 3-0'd Masa before making it back into top 8, which had him beating Alice 3-0, Shirayuki 3-0, Snow 3-1, and Level 1's Toon Link 3-2. That's the next surprise, is Level 1, a Toon Link, got 3rd place at a major. That is the highest placement of a Toon Link at a major ever, which sounds about right when you think about Japan, because they have a ton of character specialists and also a billion majors, so it's gonna happen at some point. Level 1, of course, has had other good results, but this is definitely his peak. And again, that run was not easy. Just in top 32, Level 1 beat Tsubo, who is incredibly strong, and of course Hero, the best Bowser in the world. In winner semis, he 3-0'd Shirayuki, who is the Inkling that beat Kome, the Shulk that beat Yoshidora, and he just did amazingly, and he almost beat Yoshidora. And of course, Yoshidora, in my opinion, is like the 3rd or 4th strongest player in Japan, like intra-Japan, the top 2 being, of course, Akola, Mia, then you have like Yoshidora, Shutone, Kamame, and of course, like, this powering of Japan is hard to say because one player will randomly get 33rd. Speaking of randomly getting 33rd, Ashimo, a player that has been doing fantastically recently, got himself 3rd seed at this tournament, went 3-2 and got 49th place, losing to Tsuna and Runamado. Don't know who that is. I don't know who either of these players are. And that's just kind of the way Japan is. It is incredibly difficult to be consistent. The fact that some of these players, especially, again, Mia and Akola and Yoshidora, are as consistent as they are is impressive because it is impossible to be consistent. There are so many random killers in Japan. Also, Tsuna, the person that beat Ashimo, also went on to beat Riziasu, also one of Japan's greats. So that's crazy impressive. Shoutouts to the sleeper run. Of course, players like Snow and Alice are definitely names that people know from Japan, Snow being Japan's best Mario, and Alice being Japan's best Roy. That makes sense, but also you see Toriguri here, the Banjo and Kazooie player, has top 8'd one major before, but this time got 5th place, so again, the highest placement of a Banjo. I think that's tied, technically, with Tweak's Glitch 7 Banjo placement, because I know I played Tweak in Winter Semis, and I don't think he won another set, but also Week 2 Banjo, and people not knowing what that character does, and current day Banjo, where everyone considers this character bottom 5 or 10. Toriguri is insane. I'm absolutely going to be doing a video about them in this run because they beat Doramigi, the Min prodigy from Japan, who is incredibly strong in Banjo versus Min. Don't know how that happened. I want to check that out. Not only did Toriguri or TG beat Doramigi, but he also beat Kome in Banjo versus Shulk, which I don't understand how that one works. Again, just had a crazy run in general. Also beat Jogibu, the best Falcon in the world at this point, and also beat Torie, the very strong former Liquid sponsored Wolfen Pokemon trainer player. The TG went crazy, only lost again to Snow in Mario versus Banjo, and then where did he lose in winners? He lost to Mia, because it's Mia. As I mentioned earlier, we had Shida Yuki's Inkling at 5th place, losing to Yoshidora and Level 1, but again had many good wins, including Kome and Goryoka, one of the strongest jokers in Japan. And of this winner semis, I know that Mia is the only person actually seeded to make top 8 winners. Snow, Shida Yuki, and Level 1 all made upsets in the top 32, or at least benefited from someone making an upset. Snow upset Kaninabe and also beat Alice. Yoshidora was up there, but Kome beat him, and then Shida Yuki beat Kome. I think Hedo was supposed to be top 4 seed and then lost to level 1. And then also, as I talked about, Ashimo was super highly seeded and didn't make it there. So this tournament was crazy. So many amazing players. I'm going to be, of course, going over some of TG's run and also probably, I don't know, level 1 or Shida Yuki, or maybe doing one video of both. Let me know down in the comments what you would like for that. But I'm definitely going to go over TG. I was supposed to when they top 8'd their first major, but I didn't get a chance to because there was other tournaments going on. So definitely going to talk about his run here. So saying all that, Maesuma top 15, another amazing tournament. I don't know why it says final. I don't know if Maesuma top 15 is just not going to run anymore. That would be kind of tragic. But one of the strongest running tournament series in Japan. But now let's go to the European side with UFA. So again, starting from the top down, Gluttony won UFA, defending France for the second time recently at a major, the last time being Terra. Gluttony, this is the first time he's won a UFA in Ultimate, because the last one was won by T, and then the one before that was won by MK Leo. So, you know, Gluto successfully defending Europe. You know, we expected to see maybe Bloom up here, but Bloom actually got 9th, but we will talk about that in a little bit with one player we're going to talk about. But Gluttony had a very dominant top 8, specifically not dropping a game, 3-0ing Flo, 3-0ing Siski twice, although Siski was very close to winning a couple of those games, but that didn't mean his entire run was very simple, because one thing that he did have to deal with was multiple game 5s. In top, 128, he actually only had one 3-0 versus Soul Arts' Shulk. Then he lost game 1 to Neros and ended up clutching it out. He won game 5 versus Base Mage. Base Mage was up 2-1, and then had to stave off a reverse 3-0 by Tariq. So Gluttony, very stressful tournament, even though the top 8, he did not make it look like that, but he won the event. Siski honestly had an amazing tournament himself. Of course, he did get second. He 3-1'd T, who very famously trounced him in like 5 minutes last year at UFA. That was like one of the matches of like, oh my god, Kazi is broken. But he beat T here, only lost to Gluto twice, beat Raflo in losers finals, and still had to beat many other good players, being Karama 3-1, Lugi, who has had his number recently as far as I'm aware, 3-0, then had a game 5 set with Lancelot, the Crom player, and beat Susu, the upstart Steve, who a lot of people are going to be talking about soon. So Siski, hard tournament for him, maybe not so many game 5s, only really with Lancelot, and then beat T 3-1, and then ended up beating Raflo 3-1 as well. But speaking of Raflo, this dude is amazing. He got 3rd place with some of the most exciting sets from the tournament. In top 128, he made it look pretty simple up until his loss to T, but he 3-0'd Bax Yoshi, 3-0'd Mukuro's Bowser, and then beat Big Boss 3-1 to make it to winner's quarters before losing to T, and then eventually qualifying for top 8, beating Crepsele, the Wario Steve player, to make top 8. And in top 8, he had an amazing showing, 3-0'ing Big Boss with a crazy comeback game 1. Didn't watch the rest of the set because I was eating lunch. Then 3-0'd Flo, which I think that makes sense. I think Raflo has the set count on Flo, but again, made it look pretty simple even with several SDs. And then had probably the most exciting set of the tournament, or one of the most exciting sets of the tournament, in Raflo versus MK Leo 3-2. Of the sets I watched on stream, this was the craziest set. I will be just uploading a straight up video of that set reaction because it was insane. But Raflo just played so well and then ran out of momentum a little bit and ran out of energy against Siski, so Siski ended up trouncing that losers run. But again, amazing run by Raflo. I do think Raflo is absolutely in the conversation for best Palu in the world. I think personally right now he is the best Palu in the world, because I know Chase plays a bunch of secondaries. Louis Money I think also plays secondaries, even though mostly he's been Palu recently, but of course we'll see at Watch the Throne when Louis Money gets like 5th, everyone's going to be like, oh my god, Louis Money's the best Palu. But right, Raffalo is incredible. He is so good, and I feel like more people need to talk about him. Crazy good player. To round out the top 8, we have MKLeo finally back in a top 8 at a major. He did not get here through winners though, as he did end up losing 3-1 to Naitoryu's Pichu, which I'm going to be doing a video of that as well. Lucina versus Pichu, which is kind of funny that he went Lucina. This is a very 2019 matchup, but Naitoryu is different compared to 2019 Pichu's. So the 3-1, the Rats continue to be a thorn in Leo's side. And then to make top 8, as far as I'm aware, he had a pretty simple run. 3-0'd Solos Rosa, 3-1'd Mr. R's Sheik, 3-0'd Smocks Roy, 3-2'd Base Mage. Oh, I didn't realize this was 3-2. Oh my god, Base Mage was also up 2-1 against Leo. Dude, he's gonna get his wins very soon. I mean, he has got wins, but he's going to continue to get wins. So yeah, I didn't know that was game 5. And then 3-1ing Rarkior, the Sora player that I made a video on recently, which again, if you missed that, you can just go to this card up above. I would appreciate it. Rarkior is amazing, and taking a game from Leo is definitely nothing short of fantastic. Oh, it's actually with Greninja. That's crazy. Oh, and Leo went 3 characters here. That's insane. And none of them were the matchup he ended up playing versus Taric, which was the other most exciting set that I saw in the top 8, being MKLeo versus Taric. The set was crazy. I do think, low-key, I'm going to skip to Taric right now. Taric had an amazing tournament. He should have won this game. He had a guaranteed edgeguard. Oh, he went Joker the first 4 games. I was wrong about the character thing. But he had a guaranteed edgeguard last stock game 5 and just didn't go for it. Didn't know where the position was. I don't know if he didn't see Leo's double jump. I don't know what happened, but he had an edgeguard that was guaranteed and missed it. Leo ended up making it back and clutching. Taric did fantastic though. Again, he did get 7th, which we just saw. And again, Taric just played very solid overall. He 3-2'd the Montreal Diddy Kong Z, 3-2'd Modzai, very stressful sets, 3-0'd Smock. Smock also made the major. Speaking of, just really quick side note, Major got top 30 or like 33rd at a major with Ganon and almost got better than that. Smock had to reverse 3-0 him, but Taric 3-0'd Smock and then had an almost reverse 3-0 on Gluto, which I talked about earlier with his Greninja, and then in loser's bracket had apparently one of the sets of the tournament, which I did not watch. I did not see it live. Taric versus Bloom Forever, who was going on a crazy losers run because he lost really early in pools, like not even winners finals of his pool. He lost like round 2 or something, and Taric eliminated him at 9th place. I've heard Greninja versus Bayo is supposed to be a bad matchup. I don't really understand either of those characters' matchup charts, so I'm not going to comment on that. But Taric apparently has a good record versus all the top Bayos, so it's probably fine. So yeah, winning multiple game 5 sets, multiple difficult sets, crowning in an almost win versus MKLeo. But he had an amazing tournament. He's been doing so well. Of course, he had a long stay in the US. He's been placing very well consistently, and Taric's just going to be a household name from now on, I feel like. In 5th place, we have both Flo and T. T was the #1 seed of the tournament. He always wins in France, but he didn't, losing 3-1 to Siski in winter semis, and then losing to Leo 3-1. T's never beat Leo, but even though like Leo sometimes will struggle versus Riddles' Kazuya, but I guess that means Riddles is the best Kazuya in the world, which is probably true. But yeah, T bowing out at 5th place, which was an underperformance from him technically because he was the #1 seed, since he again is dominant in Europe and just in general a very good player. But that was a bit of a surprise, even though he did go through everything pretty simply from his end. I mean, he actually had a game 5 set versus this Dr. Mario named Winder. He was down 2-1, don't know who that is, but then 3-0'd Maze Beans' Steve, 3-1'd Leon's Lucina, and then 3-0'd Rafflo to make it into top 8, where he went 0-2 there. And then Flo also made it to winner semis, right? We have Flo, where is he? Before his top 8 run, he beat Haytem's Snake 3-0 with Toon Link. He does say this character is broken and the truth. He 3-0'd Etish's Palutena, 3-2'd Super Semi's Young Link, and 3-1'd Rarkior, who beat Naitoryuu, who beat MKLeo. And Rarkior actually beat Mr. R, so again, continuing to get good wins for this amazing Sora player. Also, I said he was French. My bad. He is living in France currently. He is from Morocco, so just my bad. Wanted to correct from that video. He is a Moroccan player who is currently in France. You know, respect to that country in that scene. So yeah, Flo had like a pretty easy run. I mean, Super Semi was game 5, but that was about it. But then unfortunately in the top 8, he had to go up against Gluto, who doesn't lose to people, and then ran into a red hot Rafflo in losers bracket. So 5th place, again, amazing for a major. And the last person we have to talk about in this top 8 is Big Boss, who lost to Rafflo, but had some impressive wins. I know the last one, where is it? The last one was versus Kurama. I mean, Mario versus Rob. We also have seen Kurama struggle versus Rob recently. I think Anathema 3-0'd him at Port Priority or some tournament recently, but Big Boss actually went on quite a loser's run. I mean, he had to win 3 sets versus Nightox's Insane Lucas, right off of losers. Then he had to beat Lancelot's Crom/Roy, or I guess he just played Roy here, but he does play both, 3-0, and then Kurama 3-2. Then who did he have to beat in winners? As I said, he did lose to Rafflo in winners 3-1, so he got double eliminated by Rafflo, which is unfortunate to lose to the same person twice to get 7th, but he did beat Momon's Luigi, Mezcal, the Crazy Ridley. So again, Big Boss had a great run. Of course, he does have the Ridley experience coming from Nair in Mexico, so, happened to be a very fortunate matchup there for him. But again, Big Boss, fantastic, showing, he got 2nd place at Blink Respawn, only losing to Shiny Mark in Grand Finals. So again, Big Boss, no one to sleep on. He is a fantastic player. He just hasn't been reaching the heights of, like, Zomba, but a top 8 at a major is pretty good. That's a good start for him to run back up into the, hey, I might be the best Rob conversation. I do, of course, want to give my shout out to Europe's best Pikachu in Niroz, who almost beat Andres FN. It was a Game 5 set here. And of course, another longtime Pikachu favorite in Europe, Enki, who almost beat Icon 3-2 in winner's bracket, which would have been insane. But both Pikachu players doing pretty well. And also shoutouts to a different Pikachu that I've never heard of that I saw in losers just now, LUC, who made top 128. So again, a couple Pikachus in the top for here. Pikachu's on the rise, baby. We're going in there. And yeah, I'm not sure what matches I'll be going over from UFA. I'll probably, splice together a reaction of Bloom Forever, and then also the Leo set with Tarek. I'm going to have the Leo versus Rafflo set. I'm not sure what other ones I'm going to go over, because I've been going over Gluto a lot recently. I might do the Nitor U versus MK Leo. Also, I don't know how to pronounce this tag, so I'm pronouncing it multiple ways, so my bad if it's wrong. But yeah, gonna go over a couple of things there. And yeah, that is going to be about it for this one. Again, Smash Ultimate, even though there wasn't a super major this weekend, is still incredibly crazy. So many things happening, so many amazing sets. These players are ascending to new heights. Also, for those of you that are unaware, if you didn't watch my update video, I'm going to be going to Santa Paws in 2 weekends. So the return of the ESAM Pikachu at that tournament. I'm very excited for that, and I will see you all next time. Peace.